Is this the budget shotgun mic for you? Let's take a look.
I'm not exactly sure if it's Comica or Comica, but just for the comedy factor, barely, we're going to call it Comica. As we can see right there, super cardioid, 10 decibel adjustable sensitivity. Now, some reviews seem to think you got to boost it up to get the best sound out of this thing. From experience, I prefer it to be as flat as possible and no additional messing around. Low cut filter too, just to get a few of those annoying background and extraneous sounds out of there. I'm not looking to use this in such an extreme situation, but we'll see how that helps us out. And a wind muff, which is actually quite handy because you don't often get those included. I've already had this open and mine didn't have batteries, so bear that in mind. You're going to need 2 batteries. Apparently that'll give you 200 hours worth of use. I'm going to carry spares anyway. Comes with instructions. Pause if you really need to see what's going on there. There are instructions how to install that wind muff to the mic. A few people have had problems with that. Basically, you've got to take the fitted piece off, so you're down to the bare mic, and then thread it through where it says on the wind muff. Anyway, instructions in there, but it's fairly straightforward. I'll show you close up. Actually, if you want to pause on the tech specs, feel free. I opted for the black. There is one with red. That's kind of a hardened rubber sort of material. Sorry for it not being too scientific, but it makes it pretty lightweight. You've got a nice screw there and a 1/4 inch screw thread, which is absolutely brilliant. So that'll fit on your hot shoe or on any rig that you have if you've got the correct corkscrew attachment. The back is a simple affair. You've got your low pass filter right there. You've got an on-off here, so you'll see right across on. You get the light, so you're confident that it's on. You've got a plus 10 dB there if you need to boost the sensitivity of the mic up. If you crack open here, you've got your battery compartment. There's nothing on the mic that looks like it'll run off if you literally have to run and gun, as they say, which is, you know, what these mics are often for. But there's a few applications that I'm most interested in, and that's when I'm in a steady, calm, quiet environment and I can't be bothered to use my lav mic. Although really, I do find lav mics just sound so much better, so I'm not sure quite how much I'll use this after I've gone through all my tests. Also, I'm pretty interested in trying it out as a boomed mic, so in this sort of instance I would have it just out of frame, pointed towards my mouth from above. Here's my XT2, which is obviously smaller than the 80D, but we're going to stick it on there and then just plug it in and it's in. You're going to want to set the mic levels, so let's flick that over into movie mode. You can see at the bottom there I'm getting it metering. Let's take this off for the moment so I can hold this pointing towards myself. Now you should notice down there that it's monitoring away, and I could do with the signal being a little closer. I've got it held about 2 hands away from me. That's not very scientific, but you can always go into your camera, mic level adjustment. You can even start to push that up and you'll see it start to rise right there. But I tend to prefer to keep it as low as possible on the body itself, so it's not pushing up too much. So if I put it down to what it was on the one there, you can see it's metering around in the middle point, which is probably, I could get away with that, but let's see what happens if we flick the 10 dB. That you should see boost up by 10 dB. And now we talk again, and that's come up considerably. That could be okay actually. I'm going to give it a go and see how we get on. Just pointed roughly towards my mouth, which is why on your screen it's at a slightly funny angle because, well, I'm shooting top down. Anyway, how does that sound to you? It does seem to be monitoring quite high now that I'm relaxed, so maybe I could kick off that 10 dB. Of course, if I just put a video on where I'm doing it at 0 dB and then the plus dB and the low filter, etc., but I'm not limiting it out. Of course, plus dB is going to sound louder, but I'm always going to be limiting it out, so I want to get a nice proper idea of what's going on. Anyway, that's enough for that. let's crack on and see how it is on the 80D.
For this particular test, I'm not going to change the audio levels. Looking at the levels right now, they're just over 12 on the Canon 80D manual settings, and that's obviously feeding through the Audio Technica wireless lav. So I'm simply going to replace the mic now. Levels are looking just a bit less than the lav mic. I'm not expecting it to sound quite as close. This mic tends to pick up more from the sides than you might want, but depends on your application. Now, there's not a lot going on. I'm in the car because the weather's not particularly great and I wanted to see how it sounds, because it's the kind of situation where I'd like to just flick the camera on, get a bit done to the camera, you know, vlog style, but without talking about my coffee drinking or whatever. And yeah, let me wind down the window so we can get a bit more background noise in. And well, there you go. You should be getting quite a bit more going on there, and I do seem to be getting quite wet. So I'm going to put that one back up, and then let's see if you can hear a car coming from my right, and it's going to go past now. Now, as I've closed that window, you shouldn't hear quite so much from that side. Plus 10 dB now. That should be coming out more. You should be hearing maybe birds, maybe car engines. One other thing that we could test out in this limited environment is the low cut filter. So let's just flick that on right now and see what happens. There we go, low cut filter on. That may well have cut out some of the frequencies in the background, which may just be translating as noise, to be honest. That's the reservoir behind. You've seen it before. Right, so let me unplug all this and you'll just hear the sound from the camera itself. This is the sound just from the 80D itself. I haven't changed the manual settings at all. What do you reckon? Now, what I would recommend is flicking back and forth between the points. There'll be a title on there to let you know what mic you're hearing. And yeah, so let me pull this window back up so we can get a comparison with the earlier window up sound. And then once we've waffled for a few more seconds and just, you know, I don't know, just waffle really. Should have got a book or something. We've probably got a whole load on the phone. Anyway, let's plug my lav mic in. I don't know if there's something dodgy going on with my wireless lav mic that I bought, or if it's just me not having a good time getting the settings right, which is unusual because I had it down to a T more or less before with my wired lav mics. This would be the kind of situation, as I said, that I'd want to just throw on this thing, because I could just throw it on the camera, fling it on, make sure I turn it on at the back. I mean, I haven't even remembered to turn it off, so make sure you do that. Remember, it's a budget model, £36. I mean, you can hear what's going on. I'll leave it to you, and yeah, so far so good. I'm going to put this to more use, and I think this is going to become part of my kit. Not everything is going to be with this, because I do prefer this.